Hey everybody. You know, I didn't watch Doug Walker's entire half hour or 33-minute rant or review on the Twilight Breaking Dawn. And the reason I say that, folks, is because I can already see where it's going. You know, he's talking about the throwing all these different things at you, all these different elements at you in Twilight. And that it's really like, you know, this Breaking Dawn Part 1 at times is kind of like, you know, WTF at, you know, in some moments, like, huh, what, where, what did they say, what are they talking about? You know, and to me, you know, I can kind of understand where he's coming from there. But you see, since we're probably in the home stretch finally for these Twilight movies, I wanted to also get something off my chest. You see, I can understand and respect the fact that, you know, Universal, whoever's bringing out these movies, that, you know, they want to make the Twilight series a big deal. You know, they pretty much figure, hey, Harry Potter was made into such a big deal, we can do the same with Twilight. Well, here's the thing, though, folks. Here's the difference between Harry Potter and Twilight. See, Harry Potter had already been established long before Twilight. Second of all, it took a whole decade worth of Harry Potter movies to get to where they were earlier in the summer with Deathly Hallows Part 2. So they had a reason, in my opinion, my honest opinion, to make a big deal out of the last story, Deathly Hallows. They had a legitimate reason. Twilight, they may have a legitimate reason too, but not entirely, in my humble opinion. Not entirely. I think, in all honesty, they could have easily, if they wanted to make it a real big deal, they could have easily broke down all the best elements of Twilight Breaking Dawn, the ones that really got people interested, and they could have put it in to one movie, maybe a 3-hour film, 4-hour film, whatever. Heck, if you want to go old school, if you really want to make it a big deal, go old school and show both movies at once. Kind of like they used to do in the old days with Gone with the Wind and Cleopatra. You know, in movies like that, go back to that kind of thing for movies like Twilight. You know, kind of say, okay, end of Part 1, intermission, here's Part 2. I know, now I understand. I can understand people don't like to wait that long anymore, but you know what? It would give you a better feel, and it'd all be done and said, it'd be all said and done with. Now, again, though, I do respect the fact they want to make it a big deal, and I can probably respect the fact that by doing so, they want to make it a big deal by putting it into 2 parts. I can understand that. I can legitimately understand that. But the thing is, folks, to me, it's more of a fact that I just don't understand why it has to be made into such a big deal. You know, I mean, they've only been around for what, 3 to 4 years now? 2008, 2009, 3 to 4 years? And you're trying to make a big deal out of it already? Again, you know, I can understand and respect that, but come on. You want people, I mean, what are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove you're more dominant, you're more popular than Harry Potter ever was? Harry Potter, like I said, had a decade's worth of movies. Based on just about every single Harry Potter book known to man. And that's why they were able to get away with that 2-part finale. Because Deathly Hallows, apparently from what I understand, was the biggest Harry Potter book there was. So, I just don't get it. What you're trying to prove here. What, just because you're going to have people wait, what, 4 months longer than they did for the second Harry Potter or the second part of Deathly Hallows. You're gonna have them wait 4 months longer, basically a year longer, before you bring out part 2. Is that supposed to say something? That's supposed to mean something? Look, the truth is, it doesn't matter how long you could do it. You could bring out part 2. You can bring out part 2 in the next year. Well, you could actually bring out part 2 on New Year's 2013. And you know what? People would go and see it and everything, which is not a big deal, which would be obvious, like they're going to do in November. But the thing is, it would not match up to what Harry Potter was. So I don't know what the big deal is about wanting to give it a year before you release part 2. I mean, again, I ask the question, are you trying to make it that big of a deal? Because if you are, let me tell you this honestly, folks. I guess, in a way, you're doing a good job at it, but the thing is, I'll tell you this honestly, folks. There's going to be a lot of Twilight fans. If Twilight's such a big deal, there's going to be a lot of Twilight fans that are not going to want to wait till next year just to see part 2. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to be looking at the fact that Harry Potter Deathly Hallows part 2 came out in the summer, and they're going to be asking that same question as to why Twilight Breaking Dawn part 2 can't come out around the summer either. They're going to be asking and wondering that, folks. And you know what? You won't be able to blame them for wondering and asking that. No, you won't. Now, I'm not trying to say, Twilight's not a big deal and doesn't have a huge fan base, and that same huge fan base won't, mind waiting a year or so before part 2 comes out to theaters. I talk about many times in my videos and everything that I'm a Sonic fan, and the Sonic fan base is huge. And I can tell you honestly, fans have stated that if a Sonic movie was released, not a fan film, but an official theatrical movie was released in theaters, people would line up to go see it. Because it'd be something that they've been waiting to see for quite some time. But again, here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. That'd be something we'd be waiting. That'd be something that the fan base had been waiting for, and that's an understandable fact. But here's the thing. If people have already read the book, they pretty much know what's going to happen, so why have them wait a year? Unless you're doing this for the people that have not read the book but are getting introduced to the series for the first time through the movies. Okay, that's understandable. I can respect that. But still, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. And here's what else. Here's something else I don't get. Here's something else I don't get, folks. And here's something else. You do all this, but yet, I just don't get it. Honestly, I just don't get it. But maybe there's another reason to it. And again, like I said, I respect the fact that you want to try to make it a big deal. But the thing is, here's the thing. Harry Potter was a big deal because it was all the books made into a movie. That's why they were able to get away with what they did. But they didn't make people wait a year. They did the second part this past summer. So, to me, it's not that big. To me, it's like, okay, you have a right to want to make it look like a big deal, but you also have all these other options. You could shorten the wait time to the summer. You could have probably gone old school like they did back in the days and have intermission between part 1 and 2. You could have done that. But the thing is, you didn't. And to me, it's like, why would you have people wait unless they're being introduced to the franchise for the first time through the movies? Why have them wait a year if, let's say, they've read the book and they already know what's going to happen? Why have them do that? Why do that? I don't understand it. I mean, I know people that read the book are pretty much going to be the ones that'll be like, yeah, we can wait a year. We already know what's going to happen. But then you're going to have those that are hearing such big deals about Twilight that are not going to want to wait a year. Now, I know you're thinking, well, there have been movies in the past that have done multiple parts. Yeah, but movies like, say, Back to the Future, the Back to the Future series, they're original stories. They're original stories, so they had the right to do that. So, but that's all I'm going to say on it. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later.